I'm going to tell you what I'm about to tell you is not merely a message, it's a heavenly warning. If you are listening to this right now, it is not coincidental. God Himself has brought you to this point because there is something you need to be told and there is no time to lose. He is telling you, leave when you can, go silently, say nothing. This is not fear talking, this is protection, this is deliverance. You have prayed for answers, for clarity, for a sign, and here it is. Now, the doors in front of you are going to change. Things you believed were solid are being revealed. People you trusted are not who you thought they were. The world you're in is no longer secure for your soul or your purpose. God is instructing you to get ready, to move on, to disentangle yourself, and do it quietly. Chosen one, this is an emergency, the window of opportunity is small. If you don't heed this, you might lose your freedom. But if you listen, what lies beyond is freedom, shelter, and the life you've been praying for. Before we dive further into this powerful word, take a second. Like this video, subscribe to help us hit 95,000 subscribers, and comment the number 99 below. This number is a prophetic marker, placing you under the protection and guidance of God. If you're a real chosen one, you'll sense this in your spirit. You'll know this word is for you. Don't click away, stay to the end. Because what you are going to hear might change everything. The time is here for an urgent word direct from the heart of the divine. You who have been called, you who have felt that deep rumbling in your soul, God is calling you to act now and not to wait. This is not a mere suggestion. It's a divine directive to leave quietly, swiftly, and without delay. The days ahead will bring forces unseen, spiritual storms that will shift the very ground beneath our feet. This warning is a lifesaver, an offer to believe more than the eyes, and venture into God's plan with faith and boldness. It is important to realize the seriousness of this moment. History has testified that those who answer God's call during turbulent times enjoy protection and peace. But those who are slow to answer risk being caught in turbulence. Remember the ancient tales of Noah, who constructed the ark while all others doubted, or of the Israelites guided through the wilderness. Those who listened found deliverance. This is your ark-building moment, your moment to obey a greater wisdom that lies outside the muddle of the world. Remember that God's timing is impeccable, and His urgency comes from love and protection. This warning is not intended to make you fearful, but rather to awaken your spirit, to ready you for a holy journey that will change your life. It is time to listen deeply, to ready your heart, and to move in faith. Get out while you can. This move is different from any you've ever made. It's not just a physical relocation, but a holy, clandestine movement ordained by God. Secrecy is paramount in this movement. The alchemy of this moment and secrecy are your best friend. When everyone in the world knows your every movement, you expose yourself to forces that aim to keep you down or destroy you. Silence is here a bulwark. It safeguards your path and maintains the holiness of your divine mission. Think of a surreptitious mission where each utterance might alert the enemy. In the spiritual world, your enemies are just as real, with their strategies and tactics subtle and relentless. By keeping your plans secret, you control the situation and don't fall into traps with pretenses of help or concern. This does not mean exclusion of love, but standing on your peace until God shows you the right time. Consider Joseph in Egypt, whose dreams were secreted away until the perfect time for God. Your narrative is transpiring along the same lines. So hold your silence tightly, only speak when needed, and reveal your journey to whom God has particularly chosen. This divine discretion respects the plan of God and lays the stage for the miraculous. Your secret relocation will be the pillar of your breakthrough. One of the most difficult but most essential realities is that at this point you can trust no one completely, not even those who are most close to you. It doesn't imply that you are not loved or your relationships are broken. Rather, it's the awareness that there are some individuals, even unknowingly, who become blocks to your divine way. In times of significant spiritual importance, not everybody is destined to walk with you. The spiritual realm is filled with subtle forces that operate invisibly to impact the hearts and minds of people. At times, those we love might unknowingly have doubts, fears, or attachments that hinder us. It's as though wearing heavy chains on a trip that needs lightness and dexterity. By not sharing your plans and relying on your own God-ordained discernment, you safeguard your mission. Consider Jesus, who understood even his most intimate followers couldn't completely grasp or help along each step until the appointed hour. Your life parallels this divine path of trust and protection. This is not a plea to isolation, but a plea to discernment. Your spirit will lead you to those who are authentically connected with your mission. Until such time, maintain your faith in God's assurances and realize that He is your safest haven, even if human trust collapses. Giving in advance notice of your leave is tantamount to raising an alarm for anyone who would want to intercept your journey. In a world filled with distractions, threats, and secret agendas, silence is a sanctuary. When you loudly declare your plans, you invite opinions, doubts, and sometimes outright sabotage. Your departure must be a quiet act of faith, known only by you and God until you reach the safety of your new place. Think of this like a chess game, where your moves must remain secret to outreach your opponent. Each word you utter concerning your migration can empower forces that want to stop you from escaping. This is not paranoia but wisdom based on experience in the spirit world. There are many examples throughout history of those who lost their freedom or protection by revealing their plans prematurely. Similarly, your gentle step maintains your momentum and protects your spirit. Therefore, avoid the temptation to explain, defend, or justify your action. God's purpose is already playing out ideally, and your silence respects the sanctity of this process. Hope that the appropriate moment will arrive to tell your tale, yet until then, keep quiet and hold fast. At this spiritual dislocation, highways, airports, and busy areas become areas of increased danger. Such areas tend to have the vibration of distraction, bewilderment, and exposure. The spiritual mandate is simple: stay away. These are places where control gets lost, and the spiritual environment becomes thick with unseen peril. Reflect on the power of locations in your own life. The peace of a quiet room compared to the confusion of a busy street. The same rule applies here, amplified in the spiritual sense. Highways and airports are crossroads, but in this consecrated transition, they are also weak links where spiritual forces can try to intercept your journey. Avoiding crowds minimizes your level of exposure to negative forces and lets you move more clearly and peacefully. This avoidance is a temporary and necessary measure, a divine boundary that God Himself has laid down. It is an appeal to step back, proceed carefully, and have faith in the nudges that lead your way past these danger areas. Your spiritual shield grows when you obey this directive with faith and submission. You could find yourself picking up on subtle or even dramatic alterations in the surroundings, changes in the weather, odd atmospheric readings, or strange natural phenomena. These shifts are not coincidental, but associated with strong spiritual phenomena taking place in the West. The West typically represents conclusions, changes, and the decline of yesteryear seasons. Whatever takes place there resonates throughout the world, initiating moves that affect us all. Consider these environmental changes as nature's means of communicating divine timing. As the seasons change to allow the earth to prepare for new growth, these transitions are the spiritual landscape readjusting according to God's plan. They remind us that the world we observe has a deep connection with the unseen and that profound changes are underway beyond human understanding. these transformations are signposts that remind you to stay awake, flexible, and heart to heart with the Spirit. This realization reminds you that your experience is part of a far greater divine narrative. The transformations in nature are reminders from God that your hidden move is part of the grand design of renewal and restoration. Be vigilant and hear with your heart. You may begin to feel strange sensations, a numbness, a disconnection, or an acute confusion. These are not indications of weakness or failure but heavenly signs of protection. God takes these moments to protect your spirit from crushing fear or spiritual attack, enabling you to move safely into the next stage of your path. Picture walking in a storm with an unseen protective cloak. The cloak softens the bitter winds and rain, making you stronger to continue walking. Your confusion or numbness is that cloak, that holy buffer against the fierceness of the unseen war. Believe these feelings no matter how strange or alienating they may seem. They are signs that God is in action, carrying you through a spiritual doorway. What I'm about to tell you is not only a message, it's a warning from God. If you're listening to this right now, it's not an accident. God Himself has guided you to this point because there's something you need to hear and there's no time to waste. He is telling you, leave while you are able, go quietly, say nothing. This is not fear talking, this is protection, this is rescue. You have been seeking answers, seeking clarity, seeking a sign, and it is here, now. The doors that have been around you are going to change. What you believed was secure is being laid bare. People you have trusted are possibly not what they appear. The place you are at is not safe anymore for your soul or your fate. God is instructing you to prepare, to move, to withdraw yourself, and do it in quietness. Chosen one, do it now. There is only a short window of opportunity. If you fail to heed that, you can miss your chance to escape. But if you listen, what lies beyond is freedom, safety, and the life you've prayed for. Before we dive deeper into this powerful word, take a pause. Like and subscribe to aid us in reaching 95,000 subscribers, and comment the number 99 below. This number is a prophetic indicator, which places you under God's protection and guidance. If you're really a chosen one, you'll sense this in your spirit. You'll recognize this message is for you. Don't click away, stay to the end. For what you are about to hear may change everything. Think now is the time for a message of urgency directly from the heart of God. You who have been called, you who have felt that deep stirring in your soul, God is now calling you to act now and not wait. This is not a mere suggestion. It's a divine directive to leave quietly, swiftly, and without delay. The days ahead will bring forces unseen, spiritual storms that will shift the very ground beneath our feet. This warning is life-saving, an invitation to trust beyond what the eyes can see, and to step into God's plan with courage and faith. It's crucial to understand the gravity of this moment. History has shown us that those who heed God's call in times of upheaval find protection and peace, while those who hesitate risk becoming ensnared in chaos. Consider the old stories of Noah, who constructed the ark when all others doubted, or the Israelites who were guided through the desert. Obedience brought salvation to those who responded. This is your ark building time, your invitation to have faith in a higher wisdom that rises above the chaos of the world. Keep in mind God's perfect timing and the urgency that is in love and protection. This warning is not to be fearful, but to wake up your spirit, to make you ready for a holy journey that will change your life. It's time to listen deeply, to ready your heart, and to act in faith. Depart while you may. This move is different from anything you've ever done. It is not only a physical relocation, but a holy, hidden change that God has ordained for you. The secrecy of this movement is imperative. The force of secrecy now is your best friend. When everyone in the world knows what you're doing at every moment, You invite exposure to forces that want to hinder you or even hurt you. Silence here is a shield. It guards your journey and maintains the sanctity of your divine mission. Imagine an undercover mission where each word might alert the enemy. Spiritually, your enemies are equally real, and their strategies insidious and relentless. Keeping your plans within yourself ensures that you remain in control and do not get trapped in offers of help or goodwill. This is not to exclude love, but to keep your peace until the Lord indicates the right moment. Think of Joseph in Egypt, whose dreams were kept hidden until God's timing was perfect. Your story is unfolding in a similar way. So guard your silence fiercely. Speak only when necessary, and share your journey with those God has specifically appointed. This sacred discretion honors the divine plan and sets the stage for the miraculous. Your secret move will be the foundation of your breakthrough. One of the most difficult yet most important realities is that throughout this period you need to trust no one completely, not even your closest relationships. This is not a reflection on being unloved or that your relationships are dysfunctional. Rather, it's realizing some individuals, even unconsciously, can be barriers to your spiritual way. In times of extreme spirituality, not everybody is destined to walk with you. The spiritual realm is filled with unseen forces that affect human minds and hearts. At times, our loved ones might unknowingly carry doubts, fears, or attachments that hinder us. It's like wearing heavy anchors on a trip that needs to be light and nimble. By not sharing your plans and trusting your own God-ordained judgment, you safeguard your mission. Consider Jesus, who knew even his most intimate followers couldn't necessarily comprehend or back every move until the appointed moment. Your journey reflects this holy path of protection and trust. This is not an invitation to solitude, but an invitation to discernment. Your spirit will lead you to those who are aligned with your mission. Until then, maintain your faith in God's promise and believe that He is your safest asylum, even when man's faith is shaken. Sending out word of your leaving is like sounding an alarm for those that would intercept your path. With a world full of distractions, threats, and agendas, silence is a sanctuary. When you make an open declaration of your intentions, you invite criticism, skepticism, and even wholesale sabotage. Your exit has to be a private act of faith, only known to yourself and God until you arrive safely in your new destination. Treat this as a game of chess, where your actions need to be kept secret if you are to outmaneuver your opponent. Each word you utter regarding your relocation can empower forces trying to keep you from getting away. This is not paranoia, but spiritual insight based on experience. There are plenty of historical examples of individuals who lost their freedom or protection by revealing their plans too soon. In the same manner, your gentle step conserves your momentum and protects your spirit. Thus, fight the tendency to explain, justify, or defend your move. God's process is already working out exactly, and your silence respects the sanctity of this process. Trust that the right time will come to share your story. But for now, keep your lips sealed and your heart steady. During this spiritual displacement, highways, airports, and crowded places become zones of heightened risk. These spaces often carry the energy of distraction, confusion, and vulnerability. The heavenly directive is simple: stay away from them. These are environments where authority gets lost, and the spiritual climate becomes charged with hidden threats. Reflect on the authority of locales in your life. The peace of a peaceful chamber and the pandemonium of a crowded sidewalk. The same rule holds here, amplified in spiritual context. Highways and airports are centers of transition, but in this holy movement, they are also weak points where spiritual forces can try to intercept your journey. Avoiding crowds minimizes your contact with negative influences and enables you to proceed with more clarity and peace. This avoidance is a temporary but rightful precaution, a divine boundary established by God Himself. it is a warning to decelerate, travel deliberately, and rely on the guidance that steers your route over these danger areas. Your spiritual protection is amplified when you obey this directive with faith and compliance. You might observe slight or even conspicuous alterations in the surroundings, weather variations, abnormal atmospheric conditions, or odd natural events. These shifts are not coincidental, but related to transformative spiritual occurrences happening in the West. The West is frequently symbolic of endings, crossroads, and the westering sun of previous seasons. What occurs there resonates around the world, instigating changes that affect us all. Consider these earthly signs to be the communication of divine timing from nature. As the earth is made ready for new life by seasons changing, so are these changes the spiritual landscape realigning itself to God's purpose. They speak to us of how the world we experience is inextricably tied to the unseen and that significant changes are unfolding beyond our understanding. These transitions are like signposts telling you to stay awake, nimble, and deeply attuned to the Spirit. Being aware of them reminds you that your experience is part of a far greater divine narrative. The transitionings of nature are whispers from God telling you that your clandestine move is part of the rollout plan of renewal and restoration. Be vigilant and listen from the heart. You may begin to feel unusual sensations, a numbness, a feeling of disconnection, or a deep confusion. These sensations are not symbols of weakness or failure, but heavenly signs of protection. God takes these times to protect your spirit from paralyzing fear or spirit attack, enabling you to continue on to the next step of your journey. Picture moving through a storm wearing an invisible protective cloak that you feel but do not see. The cloak numbs the bitter winds and rain, but you are given the courage to move forward. Your confusion or numbness is that cloak, a holy buffer against the heat of the unseen fight. Have faith in these feelings when they are uncomfortable or isolating. They are signs that God is on the move, taking you through a spiritual gate. Know that God's love enshrouds you in His shield, that His protection is always and never failing. Your faith triggers this shield, and your obedience fortifies it. You are concealed in the open, under the umbrella of the Almighty. There is a time in every heavenly journey when the haze of confusion, delay, and darkness starts to fade. Suddenly, the road ahead clears up and the unseen blessings that seemed so distant now appear bright and clear. This grand unveiling is God's method of exposing your faithfulness, your strife, and your triumph to the world. Your reward, once hidden, will become incontestable in public. This revelation isn't merely for recognition. It's a rejoicing of change. All of the quiet prayers, the secret struggles, and the quiet sacrifices will be rewarded. The world will see your emergence, your new power, and the harvest of your submission. Envision the sun breaking through storm clouds, lighting all around you with radiant light. That is the majesty of God's revelation. Wait patiently in your season of waiting, because fog has a sacred mission. It makes your heart ready for more glory. It makes you acquire humility, patience, and unshakable faith. When the time arrives, God shall withdraw. The curtain in your life will radiate a reflection of His goodness and might. Get ready to boldly stride into the limelight. Your tale will encourage millions more. And your triumph will be a source of hope. The grand reveal is approaching, and it will be amazing beyond description. There is a quiet stirring deep in your soul, a gentle but insistent knowing that informs you God is active. This knowing of the Spirit is not acquired or manufactured. It's a gift of God, an internal compass directing you toward God's timing and movement. When you experience this feeling, listen. It's your spirit informing you that change is on the horizon and that you need to be prepared to react. This spiritual awareness can manifest as restlessness, a feeling of not being at peace, or an internal nudge that something needs to change, though it may be uncomfortable. It is a blessing. It indicates that your soul is in sync with heaven's beat, sensing the fine motion of God's hand. Great leaders and prophets throughout history have all testified to this inner voice that leads them through doubt and peril. Believing in the signs of your spirit takes guts. Society will tell you to ignore your intuition or to trust only reason, yet faith commands you to listen intensely to the voice of your soul. When your spirit is vigilant, it behaves like a radar that senses danger, opportunity, and divine guidance before your mind gets it. Seize this holy intuition. Pray for discernment and courage to go where God takes you. Your sensitivity of spirit will increase as you feed it on faith and obedience. It is among the most valuable weapons God has provided you with to guide you through this season. When doors shut, people push you away, or you're pushed away, it is easy to confuse these moments as rejection. But in the world of the Spirit, this is quite often not rejection at all, it's a divine extraction. God is lovingly taking you away from situations, relationships, or environments that are no longer in your highest good or divine purpose. Consider this extraction a surgeon's accurate incision required to heal, to cut out what is toxic, and to get you ready for new growth. It's not always easy, yes, but it's full of God's intention and love. God is not leaving you. He is separating you for something better. Opening up space for new blessings to come into your life. This sacred extraction is a divine process of refining. As gold is refined by fire, so your soul is being refined by removal. Those who walk away, the situations that shift, are God's gentle pruning to create a wiser, more fruitful you, so do not despair when you feel isolated or excluded. Trust that God is orchestrating your path with perfect wisdom. This extraction is not a loss, but a divine gain, preparing you for the magnificent destiny that awaits after a season of uncertainty. Could challenge you, stretch your faith, or push you beyond your comfort zone. But rest assured, it has been tailor-made by God specifically for you. It will use the lessons of your past, your spiritual gifts, and your faith to accomplish extraordinary things. Many before you have faced seasons of waiting and preparation only to step into roles that transformed not only their lives but the lives of those around them. Think of Esther, who waited silently before courageously stepping into her destiny to save a nation. Your story will be just as powerful. Prepare yourself by staying rooted in prayer, sharpening your skills, and keeping your heart open. When the fog lifts, do not hesitate or look back. Your new assignment is your divine calling coming to life. Step into it boldly and watch miracles unfold. The formula for your safety during this turbulent time is simple yet profound. Obedience combined with secrecy equals divine protection. When you follow God's instructions faithfully and keep your plans under wraps, you activate a spiritual shield that no human force can penetrate. Obedience means trusting God's guidance even when it doesn't make sense, even when the path is difficult or lonely. It's about surrendering your will to His and moving with faith, knowing that every step is watched over by the Creator of the universe. This alone invites protection and favor. Secrecy, on the other hand, keeps your journey hidden from those who might oppose or undermine you. It's a safeguard against spiritual sabotage. A cloak that conceals your movements from eyes that seek to do you harm. Together, obedience and secrecy create an unbreakable barrier. Trust this divine formula. Resist the urge to share too soon to explain or to justify your journey. Instead, walk quietly in faith and let God's protection cover you completely. Your obedience and discretion will unlock a peace and safety no one else can give. Sometimes God calls you to leave behind old friendships, familiar places, or comfort zones. This time of separation is not punishment or abandonment. It's a sacred step towards growth and transformation. God is gently pulling you away from what no longer aligns with your destiny to prepare you for what's next. Separation can feel painful, even lonely. But it's important to recognize its purpose to remove distractions, unhealthy influences, and spiritual hindrances. When you release these old connections, you make space for new relationships, opportunities, and blessings that resonate with your higher calling. Think of this as pruning a vine, cutting away the dead branches so the plant can flourish with new growth. Your spiritual and personal development depends on this intentional separation. It's a protective measure and a preparation for the abundant life God has promised. So don't resist this divine pull. Embrace the new season with faith, knowing that God is aligning your life for greater impact, deeper joy, and more powerful assignments. Your future relationships and environments will honor the person you're becoming. One of the most comforting truths during this season is that God will expose hidden enemies on your behalf without you having to fight or even intervene. These are the forces, people, or spirits working against you behind the scenes, seeking to undermine your progress. But God, who sees all things, will bring their plans to light. This divine unveiling will happen in God's perfect timing and manner, often catching your enemies by surprise. You won't have to strategize or seek revenge. God's justice will prevail on your behalf. This truth invites rest and confidence, freeing you from anxiety and self-driven conflict. It's important to continue walking in integrity and faith, knowing that God's protective hand is exposing every deception and harmful scheme. Your role is to trust, remain patient, and stay focused on your divine path. As the truth emerges, your spirit will be vindicated and your journey unhindered. Celebrate this promise of divine justice. Your hidden enemies will not remain hidden forever, and their power over you is already broken by God's sovereign hand. In the midst of global turmoil, personal trials, and chaotic news cycles, God is preparing to usher you into a season of sacred silence, a peaceful refuge where His presence will shield you from the noise and confusion. This coming silence is a divine shelter, a spiritual sanctuary where you can regain strength, clarity, and peace. This silence is not emptiness or abandonment. It's a rich and holy pause. It's the stillness before the dawn, the quiet space where God's voice becomes loudest and His plans become clear. In this silence, you are hidden from public chaos, shielded from unnecessary conflict and distraction. Think of Jesus withdrawing to the wilderness before His ministry exploded in power. Your season of silence is preparing you for your own divine breakthrough. Use this time to rest in God's presence. Listen deeply and build intimacy with Him. Your spirit will be renewed and your purpose sharpened. Embrace this coming silence as a sacred gift. It's God's way of protecting you, renewing you, and preparing you to emerge stronger and more focused than ever before. When you choose obedience to God's voice, even when it's difficult or unclear, you unlock a level of protection that no human force can breach. This protection is a divine hedge around your life, guarding you from physical, emotional, and spiritual harm. It's a reward for faithfulness, a testimony to God's unfailing love. Many have walked the path of obedience and witnessed miraculous interventions. From angels guarding the faithful to doors opening impossibly wide, God's protection surrounds those who trust Him completely. This protection isn't just reactive, it's proactive, preventing harm before it even approaches. Your obedience acts like a magnet, drawing divine favor and shielding from danger. It cultivates peace in your heart and clarity in your mind, allowing you to navigate storms with courage. The world may seem chaotic, but you are anchored in a supernatural safety net woven by God Himself. So keep your heart obedient and your steps steady. Celebrate the invisible protection that follows you everywhere. This divine safeguarding is your inheritance.